So we sold everything we own. We moved into a van to travel the world. One thing that no one planned for was a global pandemic that would shut down the entire world.
So once we made the decision to completely flip our lives around, it was time to tell our family and friends. I think most of them thought we were kidding at first. I mean, why would we leave the traditional American dream? It wasn't because we didn't love our circle of friends, our network there in Orlando, our friends, our neighborhood. They were all absolutely amazing, and we just loved all of that and still do love all of that about our life. And we'll go back and see them, and hopefully some of them will come see us. And of course, it's nice to be within driving distance of your family. And we were. My family was in North Florida, Curt's family was in South Florida, and Orlando was right in the middle. And that was nice. But guys, we knew something was missing. We both had such a strong desire to see the world and escape the rat race of what was going on in our corporate lives. It's just not where we envisioned our life being. So when we told our family and friends, some were happy. They were all shocked. Everybody was shocked. But some were happy. And some literally tried to talk us out of it pretty aggressively. I mean, we heard every question you can think of. What are you guys going to do for money? What about your retirement? You're going to go to what country? Don't you know it's not safe there? You're going to get kidnapped. You're going to get murdered. What if you get sick in a third world country? And when you guys come back, because you're going to get tired of this, you're not going to be able to step back into your jobs. What are you going to do then? Have you thought about that? And this was one of my favorites. How are you two going to live in that tiny little van 24/7 by yourselves and not kill each other? We got that from everybody. So, but through it all, and we heard the questions and we respected the questions because safety was the overwhelming favorite argument. And how can you get mad about that? But the thing is, guys, I'm a researcher and Curt is too. So we had already looked into all of these things and we had a plan.
Now, before we jumped off the cliff into this whirlwind of changes, it was important for us to have solutions, plans, knowledge, networks available to help answer all those concerns that our friends and family voiced. Because in reality, before we even made a decision, we had to work through those concerns ourselves.
After driving around the USA for 7 months to see family and friends scattered across the country, we headed south across the border into Baja, Mexico. That was in early January. We spent 7 or 8 weeks there and absolutely fell in love with it. In fact, you can see our top 10 favorite Baja places right here. Then we hopped onto a ferry, crossed over the Sea of Cortez, and headed to mainland Mexico. That was late February. And that's when we first started to hear about this coronavirus thing in China, and it was starting to be in Italy, and it was kind of starting to make the news. But we don't have a TV in our van, so we rely on the internet for our news. So we may not have been as tuned in as we would have been in our old life, sitting in our old house on our old couch watching the news every night. But we did start to pay a bit more attention. We had just left the Monarch Butterfly Sanctuary where we saw millions of butterflies, which was so cool. And we were on our way to a thermal hot springs paradise called Tolantonga. It's in the middle of the Mexican mountains. It has pools on the side of the mountains, waterfalls, caves, rivers, and guys, the water is all turquoise blue and warm. I mean, this place is amazing. But we will show you that in another episode. It was on our drive there that I told Curt that this virus thing might be getting a little bit more serious. Even though our president in the news was telling us that we didn't really need to worry too much about it, we were in a foreign country, so we knew it was time to kind of start paying a bit more attention. But I don't think we had any idea or could even begin to understand what was about to happen to the world as we knew it.
It was before we got to Tolantonga, we had to stop at this little city, and we stayed in the city center, and I walked the markets and explored the little town. Now, this was before we really knew that COVID was an issue, but I just kind of wanted to show you what it looked like in early March in a Mexican city center.
So we are looking for where we are going to sleep tonight. And right now this doesn't look high on our list, but we shall see.
Call it a day.
As I'm editing this video and looking back what happened in early March in this street market, it just made me realize how much interaction we have amongst each other, how much we touch the same surfaces. We're in close spaces. In the street markets here in Mexico, it's definitely obvious, and especially in the wet markets where the meat is literally stored kind of outside or hung outside. To get all cleaned up anyway. Let's call it a day. So I hope you guys enjoyed that footage of the market. Just want to remind you that we do have a video coming out on Tolantongo and some of our other travels before we hunker down. But what I wanted to talk to you about is, so what does van life travel look like moving forward? I mean, obviously this is a very uncertain time, and there are just a ton of unknowns out there. There's so many variables that we can control, or that are out of our control. There are a few that we can control ourselves, and they're very important to our personal health. In other words, Snow and I talk about it a lot. If we don't get the virus through this or give it to anybody else, then we've kind of, done our job in a cooperative society. But there's a lot of things out of our control, and so we tried to come up with a plan, a strategy that would fit. And so, in order for us to come up with a plan, we wanted to identify what our priorities were. And so we came up a list of 3 things that were important to both of us as we move forward and make decisions specific to our van travel. Number 1 is health and safety. So we wanted to be in a place where we could get all the items that we need, and also where we could feel safe and comfortable. And if the situation deteriorates here or anywhere around the world, we wanted to be someplace where we could feel secure.
Number 2, sustainable living. It needed to be financially affordable because we are on a strict budget in this new lifestyle. It needed to be somewhere fun. There needed to be some activities. We needed to be able to keep ourselves busy. It had to be safe, not just for us, but for the van and for our 2 kitty cats. So we needed to be able to be happy, be safe. It needed to be affordable. And we just needed it to be somewhere where we could kind of call home for a bit. It is about the journey, not necessarily the destination. So our plans were changing a bit, but it was important that we kept the dream alive.
And our 3rd priority is travel and adventure. The number 1 reason why we moved into a van, guys, was to travel the world. That's why we live in a van. And unfortunately, we can't travel now, but any decisions we make moving forward will look through that lens as one of our key priorities. So with our priorities established, then we kind of started to lay out a plan.
Number 1, we knew we needed a long-term solution. This was not a 2-week plan we were putting together. It was a plan for 3 months minimum.
The second step to our plan is to continue to eat well. Guys, we've had amazing success losing some weight and getting healthier on our journey so far in the van. We've been eating better. We also want to continue to exercise daily. I love my long walks, and we've also been getting the bikes out and doing a lot of bike rides. We want to continue to learn Spanish so we can communicate with all these wonderful people we're going to meet on our journey. And we want to stay active, but I guess maybe it's something else that sometimes we don't think about is we want to also get some rest and some sleep and rest up. We came from a very stressed lifestyle, and so this is an opportunity for us to sort of de-stress.
So number 3, we wanted to dive into our content, get creative again, go back and fix some of our old content, reorganize, get our social online platforms going. So this gives us the time to kind of do that and keep our brain engaged and just get creative for you guys.
And number 4 is things start to open back up, and that's going to be a while, guys. We're just now reaching kind of shutdown phase here. But as things start to open back up, we're going to start by doing some local traveling, maybe some weekend trips in the van, and we're going to start up slowly. We're going to take our time, and in number 5, Snow's going to explain why.
All right, number 5 It was an important part of our plan, guys, that we put ourselves in an environment that would be as stress-free as possible. I mean, these are some strange times that none of us knew or know what to expect. So we wanted a relaxing place to ride out the storm. And we needed it to be a place where we feel comfortable. This was going to be our home for a bit. We are really wanting to get back into the van, and we are really missing traveling. But we're not going to be the first van lifers or overlanders to jump back out there. We're going to wait. We're going to wait until we know it's safe to get back out on the road. We know it's safe to cross borders, and we know that it's going to take some time. And right now, we have a place that we know is safe. It's safe for us, it's safe for our kitties, and it's safe for our van. So we're going to be here for a bit. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell. If you want to help support our videos, be sure to check out our Patreon page, where you can join the journey and see some behind-the-scenes action. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys in a few days.